Welcome to Travel Time Stories with Shannon. I'm Shannon, your host from Texas, and I want to thank you for being here today. I realized I had never really did a proper introduction for my podcast when I started 12 weeks ago, so I want to do that now. This is where I'll share real stories of travel, adventure, and life itself, the good, the hard, and everything in between. I will be here each week on Monday telling a story. I will have episodes with friends or special guests who will share their experiences with life and travel, but most episodes will be just me. Today, I want to tell you why I started this podcast, what makes it different, and why I hope you'll keep listening. So grab your favorite beverage and let's get into it. When I started this podcast, it wasn't about growing my travel business or gaining millions of followers. My heart behind this project is connection, real, genuine connection. I wanted to help others by sharing my journey of life, the roads I have walked that nearly broke me, and the ones that led me back to myself. For years, I heard a voice telling me share my story, but I ignored it. I told myself no one would care because I was just an ordinary person. I told myself my story wasn't worth telling. And honestly, I wasn't ready to tell it in the honest, raw way that it needed to be shared. But that voice never went away. Eventually, I realized that telling my story wasn't just about me, it was about helping others. By sharing openly, I could connect with people who might be facing the same struggles, the same questions, or the same pain. Maybe, just maybe, my story could remind them that they aren't alone. My life has been full of twists and turns, adoption, trauma, dealing with those suffering from addiction, marriage, motherhood, mental illness in my family, financial struggles, and even experiences that I would call both heartbreaking and miraculous. Life has a way of burying us under roles and responsibilities, the cycle of rinse and repeat. For over 30 years, I lost myself. I was somewhere under the roles of wife, mom, and caretaker. I stopped dreaming, stopped writing, and buried my own voice. I stopped believing that it was okay to simply be me. I thought that was normal because that's what I was told life should be. My mom and sisters once told me that when I got married, my life was over, that everything from then on had to be about my husband and kids. They took my permission away from me to be me. And for 32 years, I believed that. I buried myself so deep that I forgot there was even a me to find. Talking with a coworker the other day, she asked me when did I realize there was a me to find. This got me to thinking back, like when did I first truly lose me? And I think it slowly began during my childhood when I experienced trauma. A little piece of me died. Then my relationship with David, he put the nail in the coffin on me. After that, Jerry Lee was the person who started to help me find me. And then I moved back to Texas and I didn't finish my healing process before marrying Jeff. So my family telling me that I could no longer be me since I was married stole what little I had built back away from me. But slowly things began to change. A turning point was meeting my sister and best friend, Anne. Also, travel. Travel became a huge part of my healing journey. Oddly enough, travel ties back to my childhood and the times I felt safe. Back then, for me, travel was reading a book to travel to a distant place, or times with my daddy exploring the woods in Tennessee where he taught me how to navigate using just a compass. or the family road trips. When Anne came into my life, it was at one of my darkest points. We both realize now that God made that connection between us for guidance, support, and love. She is my divine sister. Her coming into my life reminded me that there was a me, and she gave me back my permission to find me. She taught me that self care and self love was not being selfish, but was needed. If we don't care for ourselves, then how could we properly care for others and be our best selves? She took me to the spa for the first time, and we got manicures and pedicures. Over these years, little pieces of me started coming back. She encouraged me to go back to school and follow a dream I once had to become a nurse. So I took my first step out and went back to school at almost 40 years old. Yes, I was the oldest person in my class. Well, almost. There was one other person that was a little bit older than me. I didn't become a nurse, and I will tell that story another time, but it led me to my current day job working in the medical field. Becoming a travel advisor was my next step forward to finding myself. Planning trips, exploring new places, creating memories, that lit a spark in me and reminded me that life is meant to be lived, not just survived. Travel isn't just about the vacation, it's about the connections, the experiences, and the stories we carry with us and pass on to others. It's us writing our own story. And then the voice came back, reminding me that just booking travel wasn't enough. I needed to tell my story. And this time, I was ready. So here I am. So, what makes Travel Time Stories with Shannon different? This isn't your typical travel podcast, and it's not your typical life podcast either. I'm not here to give you polished lists or perfect itineraries. I'm here as a storyteller. Every episode, I bring you a real travel adventure that I've experienced. But it's not just about the places and facts. It's about the shenanigans, the memories, the lessons, and the funny or heartbreaking moments along the way. You will not only be able to hear my experience, but feel it just as if you were there with me while it happened. Travel isn't about where you go, it's about the connections you make and the memories that stay with you long after you come home. Alongside those travel stories, I'll share my personal life story, raw, honest, and unfiltered. The good, the messy, and the parts that have stayed hidden far too long. I won't hide the messy parts because that's where the healing and the connection really happens. You might be surprised, you might even be shocked, but I promise you it will always be real. I'll talk about adoption, trauma, addiction, mental illness, abuse, marriage, motherhood, loss, paranormal, and so much more. And yes, some of it will shock you. Some of it may step on toes, but that's the point. I'm done hiding. I'm done pretending. I believe that by sharing openly, I can help someone else who may be going through or has gone through a similar struggle. My hope is that by telling my story, not only will it bring full healing to myself, but it will inspire you to reflect on your own journey and maybe even share it with me. This podcast is about creating connections, about building a community where we share, support, and encourage one another on life's journey, where we make memories through both travel and life experiences, where we can say, "You're not alone," because healing doesn't happen in silence, it happens in community. If you're looking for connection, encouragement, and a reminder that no matter what you've gone through, you can keep moving forward, then you're in the right place. If this resonates with you, I invite you to leave me a review or write a comment, share a story or a memory with me. I hope you'll subscribe, tune in each week to listen, and join me on this journey. Share this with someone who might need to hear it or would connect with these stories. And together, let's build not just an audience, but a family friendship. We're creating not just travel memories, but making life memories. I'm so glad you're here with me. If you'd like to be a guest on the show to discuss travel or another topic, email me, lampkintravel@gmail.com, with your travel story or your personal story or whatever you'd like to talk about. Until next time, keep making memories for life.